another game that was kind of fun to watch. You have Jacksonville Jaguars, Mike Glennon neck, dude. Dude's got some shit going on, bro. Versus First Cousins, and I kind of thought the Jags were gonna sneak this one at one point, but it's just, to me, it's just another one of them games. I mean, we're talking the Vikings versus the Jaguars. I mean, this was one of those. I mean, what do we have to say? Stat wise, no one really did anything too crazy. And it just kind of is what it is. First Cousins had himself a little good game. He's been kind of hot the past couple weeks,
Yeah.
and the Vikings in general have been hot in the past couple weeks. Dalvin Cook obviously is Dalvin Cook. Make the case he's the best back in the league as far as maybe a dual threat goes. Him and Kamara. Derrick Henry, I think, is, but as far as being able to catch and receive. But the big thing we're talking receiving for the Vikings is that boy Justin Jefferson, first rookie to have 1,000 yards with the Vikings since that boy number 84, Randy Moss, who's obviously a Hall of Famer and whatnot. And that's good for Vikings. I'd be excited if I'm a Vikings fan. That kid is a stud. Seems to be having a good relationship, good chemistry with him and Cousins. He's just, what's the little dance they do to, I forgot what it's called, but
that's pretty good. And that duo too with Thielen that's the 1-2 you want. And especially like you said, with Jefferson being a rookie and playing the way he is, he's just out of his mind.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Mike Glennon a little bit more, dude. Like, he's putting the Jags in position to win for these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
And they're still probably going to draft a QB no matter what. But I think he earned himself a great place in that locker room and or QB room. This is a dude who's been in the league since 2013. He's played in Tampa, Chicago, Arizona, Oakland, and now Jacksonville. And, he might not have that crazy stat line or anything, but he's an experienced backup. And if you look at like what's going on with like Tua and Fitz, Tua hopped right on his hip and is learning so much from Fitzpatrick. And again, Fitzpatrick isn't that crazy stat guy, but he's been around the league and he's got so much experience. So I think Mike Glennon is in a good position to help whatever rookie they bring in. So shout out him. They're probably not going to win another game, but I think he's playing extremely well.
Well, see, and that's the thing too. They 100% are going to draft a quarterback, try to find that franchise guy. But, you're saying the Mike Glennons and the Fitzpatricks, especially those are two guys who I think just completely buy into their role. They know that, like, hey, we're not going to be the franchise guy or whatnot. Obviously, Fitzmagic has won a lot of football games throughout his career and has thrown a lot of yards and touchdowns and whatnot. I don't think Fitzpatrick's no scrub. And I'm not saying Mike Glennon's a scrub. I'm just saying, like you say, a good locker room guy knows he's more or less kind of the backup. And
you need people like that.
A backup's job is pretty much just to prepare the starter and be there and see him obviously being on the sideline and being able to see things that the quarterback can at the time, being able to relay that message. And like you said, sometimes the starter gets hurt, whatnot. You're in a situation like Mike Glennon's in, you're going to get the start. And like I said, just being that caliber of quarterback, you're going to have a couple good weeks. You're going to have some stink fest. It just comes with the territory of being kind of a mid quarterback. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from him. It's just, is what it is. And I think if he buys into his role, if they want to keep him around and bring in a young stud next year, Justin Fields or what have you, have Mike Glennon maybe start the next couple games next year just to get let the boys see some action or whatnot, or just throw them out to the wolves. But I definitely agree. That's a backup quarterbacks in the quarterback room, I think, is super important. And I think it's a lot deeper than some people think it is. It's just bump in starting and whatnot. I think, some layers to that. And, hey, good for Mike Glennon. Like I said, he's been past 2 weeks, been putting them in position. I mean, the past, besides 1 week there, the couple weeks they had there with Luton, I mean, they've been in some close games.
Obviously, pretty much every week,
started with Green Bay, and they've just been kind of playing hard and whatnot. And that's my whole thing about, like, you look at the Jags, you look at the Jets and whatnot, that just comes down to when they say the word tanking, it's not players, it's not coaches, that they don't tank. Those are obviously, we'll talk about the Jets here in a second, but it's like in their situation, we're talking about those players don't care. Those coaches don't care if they're getting Trevor Lawrence next year. They're worried about having a job next year and whatnot. Same with all these Jaguars players and the Jaguars staff. I mean, they don't care about who's coming in next year. These guys want to win football games and, to be able to maintain a job. So, tanking, is just it's a weird concept. But like I said, I don't think they win another football game, but they've been playing good and it's been competitive. So, but low key, fuck that game is the Jaguars Vikings. So we're gonna move.
But I mean, looking forward though, real quick for the Vikings right now are 6-6, and they're not necessarily out of it. Their remaining schedule, they got the Bucks, Bears, Saints, and Lions. And, none of those are going to be easy games to win, even against the Bears. But I don't know. So we're going to see the Vikings are either going to be legit or not here. They're going to finish 10-6, or I think they're going to finish 6-10. I think it's going to be all or nothing one way or the other. But like we said, though, Kirk Cousins in the last 2 minutes of the game has been that dude this year. So
showing up.
Let's see what happens.